Hello, good evening. How you doing? I'm getting tired. It's been a long work week. I'm anxious for bed. But before I go to sleep, I want to talk to you. And today, I want to talk about video games. Yeah! There was a fun tweet going around today asking people to pick their favorite games from the last 10 years, the so called 20 teens. So 2011 through 2019. I guess we could pick maybe 2010 is in there. Yeah, 2010 to 2019, the last 10 years, because new decade starts in a few months. A few months. So I just want to run down my picks and maybe say a little bit about each one because I like talking about video games. First off, and these are not ranked, just the order I came up with them. Fez. Fez was an incredible puzzle game. Fez is an incredible puzzle game. It's cute. It's charming. It's very relaxing. You know, a lot of puzzle platformers get very frustrating. You're trying to solve things and you just get stuck somewhere or it's really hard. Most of Fez is really chill. The music is beautiful. It's very colorful. It's a very simple mechanic. You're turning the world and then things sort of make sense a little bit. Loved it. I loved what happened when it came out. How we were all starting to solve puzzles together. People were going online to share codes with each other. It was a really fun experience. Last I checked, it's available on most modern platforms. Certainly on your PC. Certainly on PS4. Probably Xbox. Maybe. I don't think it's on Switch yet, but you know, it's on a lot of places. So you can definitely play that game. And I definitely recommend the soundtrack by Disaster Piece. Wonderful music. N plus plus N plus plus. Yes, N plus plus is not like Fez. It is not chill. It is just a gigantic collection of single screen levels, and each level you got a ninja. You got to get your ninja to the goal, and in most levels you got to get the ninja to a button to open the goal. And there's gold there, and the gold makes the timer go slow down a little faster. But there's enemies in every level. There's no power ups. There's no life bars. You either get it right, or you touch something and you're out, and you got to do it again. But there's so much. It's a gigantic level soundtrack. There's probably hours of music in that game. You could play it for your entire life. It's really deep. It's really fascinating. I never got that far because it's pretty tough after a while. But I still enjoy picking up from now and then. And my son loves it. He plays it all the time. Can't get enough of it. Definitely available on all modern platforms that I'm aware of. Slime Mori Dragon Quest 3, aka Rocket Slime 3. It's a third game in the series. Only the second one ever came to America, called Rocket Slime on DS. This was part 3, where instead of tank battles, you have ship battles. It is an incredible game. You get to sail around the world, fighting other like pirate ships and completing mini quests and collecting items to make your ship stronger. It's a lot of fun. Unfortunately, it never left Japan and it never left the 3DS. So unless you have a Japanese 3DS and you speak some level of Japanese, you cannot play this game. Really a shame because it's so much fun, and I think it tanked here, so I don't think they're ever gonna sell it anywhere else. Portal 2, I don't need to sell Portal 2. If you have a video game interest at all, you probably played Portal, and Portal 2 is as good. Okay, it's a little longer maybe. It's definitely more complicated, but it's very funny. Totally worth exploring. I guess I don't think there's a modern console port, but it certainly is on computer, so play it on computer. Undertale also game needs no introduction. It's an incredible, sweet game. It's an emotional game. It's an RPG where you don't have to kill the enemies, and it is very tough, but definitely worth it. Definitely on every platform. Go ahead, you can play it. I'm sure you can. Protect Me Knight, another game that you really can't play anymore. It was on the Xbox Live's Indies game market. And you could play it before people, and you were protecting a princess from monsters that come on the screen. And it was all very 8 bit. And at this time, there weren't a lot of 8 bit games being made, so it was very novel in that approach. The game had like authentic, badly translated English text in it. It was very fun, great game at parties. They did make a sequel on 3DS, But they are making a sequel for Switch, and it's coming really soon. So hopefully, when that sequel comes out, people will come back and say, "Oh, look, this game's a lot of fun," because it is. But originally, it was called Protect Me Knight. I think now it's called God of Protectors. But look for that; it's worth your time. Guacamelee is a really great game. It's basically like Metroid, but instead of shooting the enemies, you are a super powerful Mexican wrestler. So it's all like body slams and suplexes and headbutts. It's terrific. It's very colorful. It's all drenched in this sort of Mexican aesthetic that I think looks great. The music's great. It's just so much fun. It gets pretty tough towards the end, but I was able to complete the game all the way through. I believe at this point it's been ported several times to every system, and I think there's a sequel out, but I never played the sequel. But definitely Guacamelee 1. Absolutely fantastic game. Recommend it highly. If you like any kind of Metroid games, it's worth your time. Anatomy. Anatomy is a really scary horror game, only on your PC. Very simple to play. You walk around a house looking for tapes, and each tape gives you a hint as to where the next tape. It's not about monsters, it's just about being scared in a house, and it is so effective. I think it costs like $3. And if you have a PC, it's good enough to run this game. I really recommend this game. Look it up. Anatomy. The developer's name escapes me right now. Kitty Horror Show. Kitty Horror Show. Anatomy, Kitty Horror Show. Look it up. It's sold independently. Totally worth it. Terrifying. October's coming. Scare yourself. Lady Killer in a Bind, made by a friend of mine. Hi, Christine. It is a visual novel. It is a funny visual novel. It is an interesting story in a visual novel. And it is hot as hell because every night, it's a 7-day story, and every night your character has sex with somebody. It's fantastic, and it's great, and the music's great, and everything about it is really wonderful. And admittedly, I don't play a lot of visual novels, so maybe there's better ones out there, but god damn it, I love this game. And not enough people talked about it. And part of that's my fault, because I didn't write much about it at the time, because I was deeply depressed when it came out. But I still love that game, and I play it sometimes just to revisit it. Even though the story, as I experienced the story the first time, I kind of want to leave it that way. And last but not least, Everything. Yes, Everything. It's actually the name of the game. It's called Everything. I love it. You play everything. You can turn into everything. It makes sense if you download it. It's on PS4. I know it's on Switch. It's definitely on Steam. It might be on Xbox. I don't know. Play Everything. It's a really fantastic game. And it has some philosophy sprinkled in. You can ignore it if you want. But I think it's fantastic. And look at that. Really long video because I'm talking about 10 different games. Anyway, most of those games are still available on some kind of platform. 2 of them are made by friends of mine, but that doesn't mean they're not good. And I was able to meet some people who made those games after the fact, and I was very humbled by those meetings. It's nice. It's nice to be involved in the video game world, even slightly, even in my limited sense. It's very rewarding to meet people who make these games and tell them that game meant so much to me. Speaking of meaning a lot to me, bedtime. Good night, everybody.